Pinchy Kobe Productions presents Liza B.
Welcome to Liza B. I am your host, Liza B. And beside me, I have two godfathers who have been the foundation and a part of Jamaica's rich music culture. Information is never too much. And so we're going to talk about the term reggae, who coined reggae, and the evolution of reggae, as well as ska and mento. So we have Roy Black, who is to the left, and to my right is Bob Clarke. What a pleasure, what an honor it is to be between the two of them. Hi, gentlemen.
Nice being here. Yeah.
So, as you know, there has been a lot going on the internet about where reggae originated from. I've been on social media and I saw where a Nigerian artist who came forward and he said that reggae belongs to Africa. Many are disputing that. Most are disputing because they really don't know the true history of reggae, and ignorance is something that many people seem to argue their basis on. So to debunk that now, we want to find out from Bob, where did reggae originate from and who coined the term reggae?
Okay, I was in Studio One Monday when there was what could be called a musical strike. The musicians didn't turn up for work. And so Coxon called a couple of musicians in. And among them was this jazz piano player, Aubrey Adams. It was coming out of Rocksteady, and the Rocksteady was a much slower rhythm and beat from the reggae. And for some reason, Master Aubrey, we call him Uncle Aubrey, couldn't get that thing, and he started shuffling the thing on the organ. It was one of those Hammond organ with a Leslie tone cabinet, and it had a rich sound, and he started playing, and the guys played around with him. Could have been about 1968.
Ooh.
The two recordings were made that day, I remember. Nanny Goat, and it came out first before Larry Marshall's Nanny Goat. And What Kind of World? The Cables had another song. Can't remember exactly which of them. But there were two sides. Baby Y. Thanks, Roy. Yeah. Baby Y and Nanny Goat came out. But Nanny Goat came out first, and that was where I heard the first reggae riff. Aubrey Adams played it. Studio One. It didn't come from Africa. As a matter of fact, Adams is not even a Jamaican. It could be a Cuban or something else. But it came from out of Studio One.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can I just add something to that?
Sure.
I spoke to, what's his name? Keeble Drummond, the leader of the Cables. And he told me that when Baby Y was made, Nanny Goat was nowhere around.
He
said that Baby Y was made in early 1968. And then, that's what I'm just telling you what he told me.
Right.
And he said later down in the year, Nanny Goat was made with Larry and Alvin. You know, so that's what I'm going by. I don't know how truthful it is.
Same session.
There's so many, it's the same session.
Same session.
Yeah. But it's the shuffling thing in the music, you know, that caused the difference. You know, the shuffling, like you just mentioned. And if you talk to Bonnie Lee will tell you it's the organ shuffle that makes the difference between rocksteady and reggae.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to a song like That's Life by the Stuart, this guy from the Gay Lads, if you listen to it carefully, you know, if you take out that little shuffling sound out of it, you get rocksteady, you know. And if you put it in, you get reggae. So it's just a slight difference between the rocksteady and the reggae music. Just a shuffling organ in it that create this thing. That's how Baby Y came about, Nanny Goat and all those songs. But because this is they were not documenting these things.
Jamaican music has no date.
No documentation. No. So they were done so close in terms of time.
Right.
You understand that people just claim that I am the first, another man say I'm the first, and nobody's able to prove who was actually the first. You know, so it's a big disparity when it comes to that, you know.
That's very unfortunate that we don't have much documentation, because even if you were to do research on GIS and to go and get much information, there really isn't a lot available. So what you're saying to me here is not information that I would have found in the archives.
No, you would never, you never find it. I want to tell you, in addition to that, you know, Stranger Cole, he claims, you know, that he did the first reggae song too, but I don't believe it. That song named Bangarang. Bangarang.
Bangarang.
Bangarang. Because if you listen to it, you hear that same shuffling sound.
Right.
And Bonnie Lee might tell you the same thing, because everybody wants to claim to be the first.
Right.
And because there was no documentation,
came out of studio, I remember that.
There was prayer upon this and say, well, I'm the first, everybody's the first.
Right.
But there was
the
no
name, where did the name come from?
No,
that's what I want to say.
Something
so,
I don't. So many different stories.
If you listen to the same organ riff, you hear a kind of reggae. But the name came from, I think Toots was the first person who gave it a name.
Toots gave the name.
And he had a song.
Yeah.
Reggae, to the effect, yeah.
Wow.
We have to give Toots his piece.
So the question I would like to ask, what's the most, what you would say, the most itching conversation that we don't have and we need to have about reggae and its origin? Would you say that reggae, though you're talking about the rhythm, the sound, would you say that that was also derived from Africa, the motherland?
No, I would never say that.
It's easier to say it came from Trenchtown.
I don't know where they got.
So you wouldn't think the roots of reggae came from Africa if
No,
you really
if you
listen
go
closer
back-
to the Afrobeats?
No, if you go back, no, Afrobeat is coming from reggae.
Or I should know, Africa, not Afro.
Yeah.
The original African beats. We're talking about the drums and the Congo.
Yes.
Yeah, and
People love drums, you know.
right, and the Congo. So I'm looking at basically the bass sound. That's what I'm looking at.
Yes.
Because as you would know, I've always said, forgive me for my ignorance if I sound ignorant, that all music, most of the world's music came from Africa.
Yeah.
Merengue, samba, Latin music, it forms under the same root sound and rhythm of the African beats.
Yeah, but perhaps, you know, you could say, in a sense, you could say that reggae has a little touch of the foundation music, which is mento. Because if you listen to certain mento songs, you'd hear that same shuffling sound, you know. A number of mento songs also have the shuffling rhythm in it.
Right.
You know, but still, I wouldn't say specifically that reggae came from mento.
Or from Africa.
Or from Africa. I wouldn't say it came directly from there. I think reggae is some experimentation that was going on with the rocksteady that created reggae, as I told you.
Just outside of rocksteady.
Yes, just outside of rocksteady.
So rocksteady would be the father that
Of
gave
reggae.
the father of reggae.
Of reggae, right.
And the dancehall.
Yeah, and then you probably would say that ska would be the father of rocksteady too, because rocksteady came out of ska because it was like a slowdown of the ska beat. They slowed it down, you know. You understand? And they show different stories. Because Lynn Tate said that when this guy, Hopeton Lewis, came to him with the song called
Take
It Easy, right? He said it was a fast song.
Take It Easy is on the what rhythm?
No, it came out, it eventually became a rocksteady, but it came to Lynn Tate as like a ska, a fast song, because this is what Lynn Tate said. You know, I saw him from a quotation he made.
Right.
You know, there was this fast song, and somehow it appeared to Lynn Tate that this song would have sound better, you know, if we just slow it down, you know. And him say, okay, let's slow this one down and see what happens. And then instead of having, you know, and then he realized, him said, this sound good, man. And then Lynn Tate was a genius, you know. Lynn Tate, a guitarist, you know. He's a man that was behind rocksteady more than anybody else. I'm making nobody fool.
Yeah, that's true.
You understand? And this man slowed down his beat. And then eventually this song, Take It Easy, is considered by many to be the first rocksteady song. Although there are so many others that are in competition for this rocksteady thing. Just like we said, we don't have this thing documented properly. So a number of people did other songs that they claim was the first one, the first rocksteady song. Yeah,
Well, you have
his name,
people
yeah.
like Roy Shirley who did a lot
Good,
of
that's the man I'm
rocksteady.
trying to remember. Roy Shirley.
Alton Ellis did a whole lot
Yeah.
of rocksteady. Ken Booth did a lot of rock. In fact, Alton was known as the godfather of rocksteady. True or false, they gave him a title.
Yeah, yes.
And Lynn Tate again
Yes.
was at Treasure Isle, did a lot of work with Alton to enhance the rocksteady thing, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know where the African thing came from.
Well, I spoke to Hopeton Lewis, not Hopeton Lewis, the name you just mentioned a while ago.
Roy?
Hold'em, Roy Shirley.
Yeah.
And he told me that Hold'em was the first recording that had this one drop beat. This
See?
one drop thing, which is quite synonymous with rocksteady.
Yes.
You understand? So he also claims that he started the rocksteady
Rocksteady.
thing.
Right.
You know, and I think you have some guys from the Belltones that
They're-
say that them started it too. But like we said, you know, because the documentation
It's
wasn't
not there.
properly
There will be
done.
many claims.
Everybody claimed to doing this thing, but I really believe
Where
that.
did the name come from?
That is what I would like to know. Where
There's
did
a
the
brother,
name-
there was a brother called Jojo Bennett.
Yeah.
He used to play trumpet with Baron Lee and the Dragonaires. And he had his little band, you know, apart from Baron's band. And he would say, let's rock them steady.
Yes, right.
There's a slow dum dum, a drop and a rest and rock them steady.
Yeah.
And that's where I know the first time I heard the term.
Yes.
Rock steady.
Yeah, that could be true. That could be true. But there are other stories to which.
There are
Yeah,
hundreds
so
of
many.
stories that could
Yeah.
contradict that one.
Yeah, man, 100 that
You
could
know,
contradict
and
it. Yeah.
there's no documented, again, no documented proof. You know,
Yes.
Jamaican music has no date. It's timeless, I suppose.
Right. And we don't have any dates on this. We don't have any history on the documentation of its genesis, which is what makes a lot of us have so many claims to where reggae came from. So,
You see, those days, you know, the musicians and the singers weren't concerned about documentation, you know, because that wasn't earning them any money.
No.
They're not interested in that. What they're interested in, you know, is not even money either. They're just
Popularity.
interested in popularity. So these early artists, early Jamaican artists, they just wanted to hear their song on the radio. You understand? And that is their greatest. Because even Derek Morgan, you know, he told me, you know, that when him do the early songs for Duke Reid, right? And eventually Duke Reid didn't release his songs. That first song he did, Duke Reid never, because he used to just play it on the sound system.
Most of those songs were
So
made
he
for
couldn't
sound
get to hear a
system.
song on the radio, and that is what used to get him upset. So he left and go to a guy named Lico Wonder Smith. That was along Spanish Town Road, and Lico Wonder released his first song, which is a song called Hey You Fat Man, right? So Derek Morgan was unique, you know, because the first song he did wasn't his first release. It was about the third song that he did for this guy named Lico Wonder, because Lico Wonder released the song. And when the song was released, you know, that's the time he said Duke Reid started to release his song, and he realized that, you know, this man is very, very popular. You understand? So, you know, it's a whole heap of stories, you know, that keep floating around, you know, with this music thing, you know. Yeah. Derek.
wow.
Yeah, Derek.
Derek Morgan,
Yeah.
he's one of the many godfathers
Yeah.
in the music biz.
Yeah.
Him, Toots and Milt,
Yeah.
Toots and what's his
Yeah.
name? Sir Coxsone Dodd.
Yeah.
And there's another one. Can't forget him. Lee
Derek
Scratch
Harriott.
Perry.
Yeah.
Lee Scratch Perry,
But
yeah.
while we're on the subject of Derek Morgan, but I can't make the story pass by and I don't mention it, you know. To my mind, Derek Morgan was the most important individual in early Jamaican music in the promulgation of the whole thing.
Very important.
The most important, I'm telling you, because Derek Morgan is the person that actually started Beverly's Records, helped
Well-
Beverly's to start it,
Yeah.
right? Derek Morgan is the man that got Jimmy Cliff into the music business.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because when Jimmy Cliff came to town and was trying to get a job, and he saw this place named Beverly's Records along Orange Street, right at the corner of Orange Street and North Street, he went to this China guy and was asking him to sponsor his song. That's what he used to do, ask to sponsor it.
Right.
And the sponsor eventually became the producers, right? And the China guy tell him that he knows nothing about music. He's not a music business, he's in the restaurant business. So I must go look for Derek Morgan, who is a more seasoned campaigner, and make him interview you. And if he passes you, well, I'll
Think about
sponsor
it.
you. I think about it and sponsor you. Jimmy Cliff went and looked for Derek Morgan. and took him back to Beverly's Records. This is how Jimmy Cliff started, you know.
Right.
Right? And when he went back there, Derek Morgan auditioned him, and he came up with a song named Dearest Beverly. You know about this, Bob?
Yes, man.
Dearest Beverly. It's a slow song.
Slow song.
And Derek Morgan tell him, say, no, man, that song they're too slow. That's not going to take the market. Then Jimmy Cliff said, have another one, man, named Hurricane Hattie. Right? And he started singing the Hurricane Hattie. And Derek Morgan said, yes, man. And they recorded this song. And it became a big hit and became Jimmy Cliff's first song. And that's how Jimmy Cliff actually got off the ground, you know, as an international artist.
Derek
and they made a
Morgan.
string of them after that, you know, because he had others like Miss Jamaica.
Right.
And Kings of Kings, and a whole pile of them that he did after that, you know.
Derek,
So,
sorry, Roy.
Yeah, go
Derek
ahead.
was the
Yeah,
same
go
man
ahead.
who the first person to ever introduced Bob Marley on stage.
Yes.
He called Bob Marley on stage at a program he was working at. And Bob went up, they booed him.
Yeah.
They booed him. But
They booed Bob?
They booed him. But he never stopped. he did one song.
This is interesting.
And I think he did one cup of coffee and they booed him.
Yeah.
And then he did another song. And they said, "Him a real 2.5 hours."
Yeah.
Figuring that he was making the song up as at the time.
Yes.
You know, and they rated him,
Yeah.
almost lifted him up
Yeah.
as a king, you know.
Yeah.
So he didn't stop with the boo.
Yeah.
He
So-
went into singing another song.
So Jamaicans have been booing
Yeah.
artists for a long
Oh, yes.
time.
Yeah, man.
They-
It is also known, you know, that
Yeah,
if a foreign artist comes
Yeah.
here and does a song and the Jamaicans accept it, it's a hit.
It's a hit. That's why I was just about to make the commentary that if you know if you are accepted and you're good. Once a Jamaican crowd has cheered for you, you are gone.
Gone,
yeah,
You're
man.
gone.
But I'd like to just add some more about Derek Morgan because we can't leave it there.
No.
Because it wouldn't be doing justice to Derek Morgan for me to just tell you
And leave it
that he
alone.
started Jimmy Cliff and Beverly's. Derek Morgan actually got Prince Buster into the music business as well. You understand? Because Prince Buster tell me, and if anybody contest with me, I can get the CD and play the interview that I have with Prince Buster. Right? So I was walking on the street, on Orange Street one day, and he saw Derek Morgan, and asked Derek Morgan, tell Derek Morgan he wanted to start a business. Because I don't know if you know the story behind Prince Buster, you know. He didn't want it to be a producer and a singer, you know. He wanted to be a sound system operator.
Ah.
But they stopped him. Customs stopped him, according to him, is a bad mind thing. And they stopped him at the customs area and tell him that, let me see your hand mickle. And the customs man checked him and said, the hand mickle are too smooth for cut cane. Because what they used to do, you know, is go away as cane
Farm
cutter,
workers.
as farm workers. That was the guys that they used to go abroad to buy records to complain them sound system.
Oh.
You understand? Somebody cook up a thing to try and stop him because they said Prince Buster was very dangerous. Because he knew all the records and he was very, very familiar with all of those stuff. Right? So the guys stop him and use the alibi about and make it too smooth, that can't cut cane. And him turn him back. And that is how we actually had this alternative now to get into the production of music and get into singing and producing and all that sort of stuff. And that's how it goes on. So this is how he came into contact now with Derek Morgan.
Okay.
And Derek Morgan, right, helped him to set up his business and get into the music business now. So the business there at 127 Orange Street. So he became an entrepreneur, he became a music producer,
Singer.
he became a singer, Prince Buster, all through the works of Derek Morgan. But Derek Morgan didn't stop there. When Derek Morgan was visually impaired, Derek Morgan wrote 3 winning festival songs, you know. People don't know this, you know. 3
One
winning.
for Stanley.
Yes, I think it was 1998, 2000, and 2002. He knew that he was going to be blind, you know, from he was about 7 or 8 years old, you know. He told me.
Wow.
Because he said he was having this thing called night sick blindness or something. And his mother took him to town. And the doctors told him that there's nothing they can do about it and will eventually get blind. Wow. So he just accepted that from him as young. So by the time he was in his 60s or 50s, he was totally blind. Right? And so eventually no, but it never met that him stop him, you know. Derek Morgan was very, very happy. And so he wrote first songs, he wrote a lot of songs and even produced a lot of songs. So Derek Morgan didn't just come here as a Not to mention that he had about 5 or 6 songs in the top 10 all at once. You know, remember that
Yeah.
song? He had about 5 or 6 songs Derek Morgan had during the ska era. Because up to now he's known as the king of ska.
Right.
You understand? So when we're talking about Jamaica music, we just can't leave out Derek Morgan. He's the man behind most of the stuff that is happening, but he's grossly underrated.
Well, yeah, clearly, because we've not heard much of Derek being and there are so many other godfathers who have really and truly brought the music to where it is today, that they have contributed so much to the music. So for Derek Morgan to not get the flowers and he's still alive,
Yes, he
he
is.
really should have been.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the honoraries for the Heroes Day celebration this year, he should have been one of the recipients to contributing to music and our culture.
Yes, that should be.
You know,
But they did some tribute to him not too long ago, you know. I don't know, at the National Stadium. I don't know if
at
it
the
was-
stadium.
I think it was during the Independence
But-
celebration. Yeah.
We
But-
constantly hear about
Yeah.
the Marleys. We constantly hear about Peter Tosh.
Yeah.
We hear so much about Dennis Brown. But we don't hear about the true foundation
of the music.
of the music that helped to bring reggae to where it is today. As we speak, we're looking at the evolution of reggae. We're looking at its first record. When was reggae first recorded? Do you remember?
68, around about 1968.
1968. Okay. And for the ska, when did ska first circulate the scene in Jamaica?
I would say it would be between 1961 and 62.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think that's about the time because there was people like Eric Montemorris,
Right.
was one of the earliest of,
Right.
of the ska heroes.
Right.
And you had others like Prince Buster, Stranger Cole, Derek Morgan, and quite a number of others.
Right.
You know, but to me, it's kind of difficult to find out how ska really evolved. But I think it came out of the American boogie.
Right.
I think it came out of the American boogie.
Yeah,
And one
it
of
was
the
a
songs,
doo-wop.
one of the songs that was primarily responsible for that was a song called Easy Snapping by Theophilus Beckford, because that was a turning point, you know, if you listen to the music closely.
Right.
That was a real turning point, because before that,
Theophilus, yes.
Theophilus
Theophilus
Beckford.
Theophilus
Beckford.
Beckford. That
Yeah.
is, he is cool to Keeling Beckford.
No.
No,
No?
no.
Relationship?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of. I know Keelan and I
No.
don't know of them.
Okay.
particularly.
Okay.
But he was a piano player
Yeah.
who was a singer. And he did this Easy Snapping song that took off like a rocket, you know.
Ah.
And like Roy said, it's a turning point in Jamaican music because we were listening to the North American music, the doo-wop stuff and the Fats Dominoes and these.
Is there a song title you can give us from the doo-wop?
Same, they have songs like even the Fat Man. Hey, you Fat Man, Derek Morgan. It's one of those like a bolero kind of thing. But that pop, 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 pop from the
Right.
same doo-wop era. You're talking about people like I said, Fats Domino. That kind of music coming out of North America.
Right.
We were patterning them to some great extent. In fact, they were the ones who were dancing too. We never had our own music except for Mento.
Right.
And that was not what you take a girl to a Mento dance, you know.
I'm hearing doo-wop and I'm thinking the song Frankie Lyman. Why do fools fall in love?
They have the Frankie Lymans, the Frankie Avalons, and the Cliff Richards.
Right.
These guys, they did a lot of those songs. You have Platters. They do a lot of them too.
Okay.
And so we were listening to them and dancing at their music, and it is said that some guys were at a bar one day and they were talking music. Musicians normally do that. And the idea of skavuvi came about. And they changed the thing and give it an upbeat.
Right.
And the guitar strum, the guitar strum and the drummer would change the whole thing. The drummer would play a little faster than the tap 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 tap, and the guitar would play, and the whole thing came together when they call it Skavoovie.
Yeah. The whole thing started from the dance hall, you know.
But most of the music
Yeah,
here was
the
made for the
dance
dance hall.
Because all of these rhythm and
Made
blues-
for the
For
dance
the
song.
radio
all
stations
of these
never used to
rhythm and
play
blues songs,
Jamaican music.
These doo-wop you're talking about. Some people used to call them rock and roll, you know. Even the Platter songs,
Yeah.
like Great Pretender and Only You.
Mm-hmm.
They're classified as rock and
Rock
roll
and
songs,
roll.
but some people call them doo-wop same way. You understand? So in the dance halls during Jamaica, during the late 50s or the mid to late 50s, these are the songs that used to get people on the dance floor
Rock
because we
the
had no
dance
Jamaican
halls.
music.
Yeah.
We had no Jamaican music. Jamaican music was not yet created. But
And
after
what era and what time was this? What
this is
period of
about
time?
from about the mid 50s.
Early 50s, man.
Okay.
I know from early 50s because the early 50s was Mento, you know.
Right.
The early 50s was Mento, and then it eventually got
Well, that was
involved.
as close as they get to Jamaican music, the mentor.
Yeah, right? So when this music came on stream now, you know, it used to rock dance halls, but I understand now that after a while, the sound system operators couldn't get these records anymore. They were drying up.
Right.
That is how we decided to start to make our own music, you know.
Right.
But we patterned it off the
Foreign
the
thing.
foreign music, the
music.
American music, in order to keep the dancers in the dance hall.
Ah.
Because these are the types of music that they used to dance to. And they didn't
Okay.
want it to just switch on them suddenly with something. So our Jamaican musicians was trying to make songs that sounded like those songs to keep the people, in order to make money for themselves.
A
as
case
well.
in point is the same Derek Morgan's Fat Man.
Yes, yes.
Hey, you fat man.
Yeah. Leave my girl alone.
Yeah.
Hey, you fat man.
Yeah.
Leave my girl alone.
Easy snapping from Fearful back for doomby doomby doomby
Yeah, yeah.
doomby doomby
Yeah, yeah.
doomby
Yeah.
doomby. And
Oh.
yeah.
It's pattern, yeah man, it's pattern.
Yeah.
The American
So when you have this song, hey, hey, yeah, hey. So it's that dungy dung. It's so it goes on. I can't get the
I think you
rhythm
kind of
properly.
pop me there, but I know where you're going.
You
yeah?
know where I'm going. Hey.
So you see, the whole of this thing come from the American R&B or doo-wop or
Yeah.
rocksteady or rock and roll, sorry.
The
how
rock
you wanna
and
call
roll.
it. Yeah man, that eventually evolved and got the Jamaican music came on stream now. The ska came on stream, patterning this boogie sounding
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
Right.
And then eventually rocksteady, the growth of ska. So we could say that is the American R&B was the foundation.
Yeah, influenced it.
Is the influence of
Not
it,
African.
not really Mento.
No.
I wouldn't say Mento was the
So
influence.
you really don't
more-
think
more
Africa
Spanish.
had anything to do with it at all?
Well, I wouldn't say no. The fact that most black people have the same music pattern in them, built in, yeah? Drum, bass, that kind of a thing.
Yes.
So if black man is from Africa, then you give them Africa a bit of the credit there because
Right.
your origin and you. But in terms of the music itself, in its totality, it started here. Jamaica has, who can tell you Steel Pan came from France? They never tell, you can't tell anybody that.
What?
Steel Pan didn't come from France. It came from Trinidad. Yeah?
Yeah.
And you can't take that away from Jamaica. Reggae is Jamaican.
Yes, of course.
I am of the opinion that reggae, the not reggae in its entirety, but the roots of reggae lies from the music in the motherland.
The only part of that I could agree with, is the fact that Mento had its root in Africa,
There you go.
right? And perhaps the people who want to say that reggae came from Africa.
Right.
They will tell you that if you listen to reggae music, you'll hear some sounds that you hear in Mento music as well. Because there's no doubt, the music came here from Africa, it was the slaves that used to play these things on the plantation system, in Jamaica,
You touched another subject.
Right.
And the slaves used that for
Yeah. Gatherings.
for their gatherings. As a matter
Yeah.
of fact, I learned also that was part of their runaway plan.
Of course.
Their escapee
Yeah,
plan.
because what
communicated
happened,
through
is
music.
Exactly.
no, what actually happened is that they were not allowed to congregate, Them beat them and things like that.
Punish
Once
them.
you start congregate, the slave masters start to believe that you're
Exactly.
planning
Planning to run away.
to run away or to
Those people were
So
easy.
what they used to communicate with the music, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
They used to make certain sounds because they know different sound meaning everything, and that's why they used to talk to each other too.
It's happening still, you know. The
It is-
Abeng
the
and
Abeng
the
tribe.
Maroons use, you know.
Yes.
Yes.
So you see, the African, that's where I would agree in a sense that
About the music
some
coming
of the
from
reggae
Africa.
might
But-
have a touch up from the from.
No, it does because you say mentor.
but-
mentor comes from that.
Yeah.
That circuit, that culture.
Yeah.
So in essence, mentor coming here, reggae. If it were not for mentor, we wouldn't have the reggae. What you say?
No, I don't think I would. Not
I don't want to go that.
No, I
You
wouldn't
wouldn't?
agree with that. No.
You
All I
wouldn't?
would say is
No.
that the reggae have a touch of mentor in it. Probably these
In
musicians
point,
were
in
listening.
point, in
probably
point
and
of
I
fact,
think
the sky is still in the reggae if you listen it, you know. The sky is still there.
yes.
So I don't think we have strayed it too far from our root in terms of the mentor.
Right.
And if you're going to say mentor came from Africa, then that might be the touch of Africa in the reggae. Because the mentor is still in the reggae, you know.
Exactly, right. That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
right.
yes.
So outside of that,
Yeah,
you really can't separate the tea from the water.
Yeah. So in reality, you know, the reggae really deeply rooted came through the Jamaican music.
So you're
Which
saying
is
that it's
rocksteady.
here.
It came
This
from
is-
Rocksteady.
Yeah, man.
It's the experimentation of the musicians,
Yeah.
right? That actually brought about this, because they weren't planning anything, you know. These guys were just playing around and playing music.
But
and
I told you that the
experimenting.
thing came out by chance.
With chance.
Yes,
right?
you did because
Yeah.
you told me that you were in studio.
Yeah,
That's
When
by
the
chance,
first-
yeah, by
Like a
chance.
stroke of luck.
Yes.
Do you see how honored I am? I'm sitting beside the foundation of the people who were here to witness the first recorded reggae song, the reggae beat. Right? But we still don't know who coined the term reggae.
It came from a number of efforts, you know. Raga, reggae. In point of fact, a lot of people would discredit the music, you know, by using derogatory terms to refer to it. Streggae, when it came out first, a lot of people would use the word streggae. Streggae is a loose girl who,
Yes.
you know, and there was the streggae music. Right, you must have heard that term.
Yeah, man, yeah, man.
Because
And,
we
and it
must-
was never respected.
Yeah.
In point- in point of-
Colonialism helped that,
In
didn't
point of
it?
fact, I tell you something, you know. Like ska, couldn't pass Crossroads, you know. People
Yeah.
like Baron Lee have to give them
Yeah.
people credit.
Yeah.
Baron Lee and his band took ska above Crossroads, so the Ligani clubs and the various members club and the, you know, Rocksteady felt the same way and reggae got the same treatment. Couldn't
Well,
pass Crossroads.
the reason it couldn't pass crossroads, we all knew that colorism and colonialism had a major impact.
It's more than that. It's more than that. Because even when they were going to promote ska abroad, the Scatolites was the dominant force behind ska. And they would never send those men to represent Jamaica in the music. No, they sent Baron Lee. We look here. You know,
So you don't
Right.
think,
Eh?
so you do not believe, you want to tell me that you don't believe that colorism and colonialism was
It's
part
more,
of the
it's more
reason?
than it's more than that. It's more than
What
that.
would you- what
discipline is also a part of it too, you know. Baron Lee had a tight structure. I'm not giving the Chinaman a credit more than him deserve, you know. I'm only saying to you that Baron Lee had a tight structure. Every member of his band wore the same kind of uniform. They were uniformed.
Right,
They had the stands in front of them and they looked decent.
right,
Like a North American band, eh?
right.
You have people, them do, as a matter of fact, you don't see a member of Barely band smoking a cigarette.
No, that's it.
Eh?
Because you see, that's it.
If him
Because
go
you
and
see,
smoke him, go around the back and
them
smoke a
days, you know,
cigarette.
there
Well,
was so
those
much
things
against,
make a
Eh?
there was
difference.
so much against ganja smoke.
Oh, Lord, come on.
And Rastaman. That is one of the reasons why this
Scatterlights couldn't go there.
God, them said them not send them
Eh? Ganja smoking.
smoker there abroad to go represent
You
Jamaica.
mad? I'm
Because
going
it
to
was
South
like people like Running Nazral and Barony that arranged this thing, you know, in 1964, you know,
yeah.
to send these
Wow.
these guys abroad, you know. I think Jimmy Cliff
Wow.
was one of them, Stranger Cole, Eric Montemorris, Byron Lee, and them guys to go abroad to promote Jamaica. With Edward
Yeah,
Siaga
yeah.
was a man behind it too.
Yes.
Right.
Right, to send these guys abroad to
Promote
go
Jamaica and the music.
Right.
And the other these Byron Lee were their friends.
Yeah.
They weren't friendly with Scatterlights band. Because them
No,
say
apart
them
apart
guys
from that,
smoke, my herb
right,
smoke
apart
up.
from that, you couldn't send the man
And them don't want
them
them
Rasta
to go there.
face, them
And Rasta man and all them something to go.
Man a cuss better than a smoke ganja split.
Yeah.
So there was an
That was
order.
not that was unheard of.
So all
Right.
those Scatterlights was a band that was duly
Yeah. Honored, they should have been the
honored
one
to
to
have
be honored.
gone. They were sidelined.
As a matter of fact,
And
as a matter of fact, 90% of the music that came out those days had a member of the Scatterlights in it.
Right. Yeah.
If you're talking about Clue J, somebody from the Scatterlights was in the band.
Right.
If you're talking about Drum Vega, somebody from Scatterlights was in that band.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you could never have played ska and a ska band as member of the Scatterlights, not included in the thing.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But you couldn't send them as a group.
And even with the evolution.
They
of the
wouldn't want to
music.
take that chance.
Even
Not that
the-
they would do it, not that they would be disrespectful, you know.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't want to take that chance,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
But I'm talking about members, you know that a lot the members in the Scatterlights band after they broke up, they formed different bands, you know.
Of course.
Because you had the Soul Brothers,
Yeah.
Right.
Roland Alfonso.
Roland Alfonso and Soul Brothers,
Tommy
you had the
McCook.
Soul Vendors.
Yeah.
You know, the set went over by Treasure Isle with Tommy McCook and the Supersonics.
Yeah.
It wasn't many though.
Yeah.
Most of them stayed with Studio One.
Yeah.
But they had these Soul Defenders, Sound Dimension
Sound
and all of
Dimension.
them, which was members
No, I don't think any member of the Scatterlights.
No, this guy
had
didn't reach the Sound Dimension style. You know?
Soul
it
Defenders.
was
did
later.
that.
It was later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
But Sound
So-
Dimension, yeah,
Right.
had members. In fact, Sound Dimension was as a result of the breaking up of Scatterlights, and then they came up with the Rocksteady group, so like and
they used
Roland Alfonso and the
Yeah.
what the name again?
Soul Brothers.
Soul Brothers.
Soul Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, these groups came about after the breaking up of the Scatterlights.
Yes.
But-
and then you used to have some music, you know, that really sounded like ska, but sounded like rocksteady at the same time. Remember those songs?
Girl, I've got a date.
I used to call them transition ska.
Yeah.
You know, because Derek Morgan sing quite a number of them, like Impossible,
Bob,
like
Bob,
Riding
Bob,
for a Fall.
Bob
And all
Andy.
those songs. Bob Andy sing
I've got
like
to go
I've
back
got to go
home.
back home. It have a touch of ska in it, you know, but
Even
it's
today,
not a
the
leaning
reggae
towards
has ska in
rocksteady
it.
too.
Right.
So I used to call them transitional
Transition.
ska. That's what I call them, you know. And that's the name I use, transitional ska.
Yeah.
You know, but you can hear the touch of the Scatterlights in those bands, you know, when
Yeah,
they
man.
reformed, you
Yeah.
know, right? The Soul Brothers and so forth. I'm
Right.
telling you, it was a period of great music right here in Jamaica.
Right. That was awesome. But you know, in all, what I have learned, basically from the two of you, is the road. It seemingly had been a road for reggae to be accepted and embraced by us here locally.
Yeah.
And I would want to say, I think it was accepted when Bob Marley
Yeah.
went overseas
Yes.
and was accoladed and loved and lauded
Yeah.
by the foreigners
Yeah.
that we now embraced it. Because you
Yeah.
know how it goes in Jamaica.
I know.
It ain't good until the foreigners approve it.
Yes. And you can't leave out Chris Blackwell either because people don't like to mention Chris Blackwell.
No,
A lot of
Chris
people-
Blackwell play a very, very
Call them
important
say,
role.
The good
because-
comes with the bad.
Yeah, you
And we
know.
have to
No, but you
give
can't.
credit
What
where
bad,
it is.
What bad did Chris do?
No,
You know,
no. But
Chris
there are
made
people.
reggae international.
Yes. And so
Junior Lincoln.
Yes.
You can't leave Junior
You can't
Lincoln
leave
out of
you
the
can't
thing.
leave
Bamboo
out that
Records.
man. Yeah, yeah.
These people did a lot of work with reggae. I mean, reggae was at one stage to me England's national tune, rhythms.
Yes.
When you couldn't go to England and don't hear a reggae.
Right.
It was like being in Jamaica, you know.
But even
Right.
ska, you know,
Ska,
was
yeah,
very, very
yeah,
popular in England, you know,
Yeah.
during the 60s too.
Yes, man.
Mainly through Prince Buster
Derek
and
Morgan,
Derek Morgan.
Right.
Jimmy Cliff.
You understand? Because those guys went abroad, you know, and helped to promote Jamaican ska.
Right.
Monty
Through
Morris.
a man named Emile Shalit, which was a guy that owned that Blue Beat label. Right? It was Melodisc. His label was Melodisc,
Yeah.
but they established the Blue Beat label as a subsidiary to Melodisc, primarily to distribute Jamaican music in England. You understand? And so we used to have a lot of these ska eventually to the point where many of these ska songs became known as blue beat.
Right.
But many people don't know so blue beat is a label, you know.
Yeah.
They think it's a dance,
Yeah.
it's a
Right.
music, it's not a
Type
music.
of music. It's
It's a label named Blue Beat. Because the songs were distributed on the Blue Beat label by Emile Chalet.
The records, the label was blue.
Yeah, Blue Beat, and it had Blue Beat on it too.
Yeah.
You understand? So, you know, we had this ska was promoted highly. And a man that was very, very important in that era was Larry Lakin.
I'm trying to remember his name, Laura Lakin.
Larry Lakin was a man that was very, very important. He was the first Jamaican artist that went abroad and put Jamaican music on the international map.
Yeah.
It was about 1960. Larry Lakin. Larry Lakin was like a mentor singer, you know,
Yeah.
in Jamaica here, you know. Yeah,
Wow.
you know. And then he went abroad and he did so much for the music. So we can't leave out Larry Lakin either. I wrote for the Gleaner, you know.
Yes, you
Between
should.
2012 and 2019.
Right.
And the things that you hear me talking about here is what I write in the Gleaner.
Right.
It's what I talk about on the air when I'm on KLS. Right? The music. You understand? But when I write now, it seems to conflict with what the other people are writing because they are not coming from the source, you know. They are coming from Google. And other things in this Google and Wikipedia is incorrect.
Google is a
I
Google.
have found that it's incorrect because I've gone in there and I've seen some things. And when I go to the original people and ask them say, "No man, them not go so."
Lie them and tell.
Lie them a tell.
Well,
What thing name?
I lie them a tell.
Lie them a tell.
I am your host, Liza B, and this was a lie them a tell.
Yeah.
Definitely, a lie them a
And
tell.
we are here to expose the truth. Right.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned next time.
I hear a past Prime Minister of Jamaica couldn't read all right.
A lie them a tell.
It's true Annie Palmer used to kill her husband them and suck them blood.
Pure lie that man.
It's true say all the black people who live in Jamaica come from Africa.
Bag a lie.
I heard say the word reggae was made up by a white Englishman.
Lie. Pinchy Kobe Productions presents A Lie Them a Tell.